Yo, what is going on? PartTimerZack here. In today's video, I wanted to talk about S Bianca and just kind of go over her moves, her skill set, and just talk about her kit in general, talk about memories and her weapons and whatnot. So in a later video, I want to do the Tower of Babel essentially and go through Warzone and Pancakes just to kind of show her off. I like to call it like the gauntlet essentially. That gives her a little bit of an idea of what she would kind of look like if you maxed her out. I am waiting on some resources right now because I only have her SS. This is not my main account. This is just an account that the Kiro Games was able to give me. So I was able to kind of showcase units at their kind of top. So you guys would have an idea if it's worth kind of investing in the long run for most of these characters. So right now I do have her in SS, but I just kind of wanted to talk about her skills, talk about her memories, and talk about her weapons, just kind of get the basic stuff out of the way so we can kind of gear up towards, you know, Project Babel and stuff like that. So talking about her skills is going to be the first thing we're going to go through, and I'm also going to talk about why I leveled up certain things, why you see some things a little bit lower level. So talking about her red orb here, we're going to go into stand still to pull bow and charge, then shoots a long range energy arrow in front, deals a certain percentage of physical damage based on the number of orbs pinged, and she deals lightning damage instead on a 3 ping. So essentially you have a little bit of flexibility there if you want to do a little bit of physical damage, but you can convert that to lightning damage if you do a 3 ping instead. Now talking about her yellow orb, she flash hops to the sky, shoots a charge arrow at the target. The arrow explodes on hit and deals a certain percentage of physical damage based on the number of orbs it pinged, 1, 2, and 3. And the explosion will create a zone of lightning that reduces the movement speed of targets in the zone by 20, 35, and 50%, and deals a certain percentage of lightning damage per 3, 5, and 7 seconds. So again, this is all going to be based on the number of orbs pinged. You know, 20, 35, 50 is going to be 1, 2, and 3, and then the 3, 5, and 7 is also going to be 1, 2, and 3 for the orbs pinged. Now talking about her blue orb, detonates the energy in the arrow tip and knocks back enemies or nearby targets, dealing a certain percentage of physical damage based on the number of orbs pinged. Again, gains electro charge for 8 seconds, causing S Bianca's basic attack to shoot 1 extra lightning arrow that deals a certain percentage of lightning damage. Red orbs and core passive to shoot 2 extra lightning arrows that deal a certain percentage of lightning damage each. So you can kind of see where you can start to flirt a little bit with the red orbs and doing her core passive to kind of stack these arrows for her blue orb. So talking about her active skill, this is going to be her basic attack. Quickly shoots 7 arrows at a target, dealing a certain percentage of physical damage. In total, the last arrow pierces target. So if you are going against a lot of enemies, make sure to hit that last arrow on one of the front enemies because you can do piercing damage. Now it's not like super important, it's just something to kind of keep in mind as you're playing with her. And then talking about her signature, so it does cost 100 energy, shoots arrows at the sky, bringing down lightning bolts temporarily. Each bolt deals a certain percentage of lightning damage to targets within the area. After a short while, the bolt energy explodes and deals a certain percentage of lightning damage to targets within the area. So it's kind of an AoE thing, but it does take a little bit to kind of get going. So if you're expecting the AoE, it will take a kind of short while after you've shot off the original signature. So talking about her QTE, you can see that I actually only have a level 2. Right now, I just kind of want her main like up in front and focus. Whenever Chrome comes out, maybe I'll kind of flirt with the idea of leveling this up because I will probably swap off on Chrome every once in a while when I need S Bianca to be kind of in a breather area. Maybe she needs a couple more dodges. But talking about her QTE, Bianca shoots 4 times at a target, dealing a certain percentage of lightning damage per hit. And then this is attacker. You essentially get this for getting her to SS. Extra damage bonus increases by a certain percentage based on the level that you have here. And then going into her core passive here. So pinging a blue orb after a red 3 ping will cause her to go into a sniping mode. During so, she will shoot a long range arrow that deals a certain percentage of lightning damage. She exits lightning mode if 6 arrows are shot or if 6 seconds pass. Dodging in sniping mode will lower the charge time for the next basic attack. She will not gain special or signal orbs through basic attacks during sniper mode. So you will not actually get your orbs back whenever you're in the sniping mode, and just taking precaution that dodging while you're kind of doing it will lower the charge time of your basic attack. So this is kind of why you can see that this kind of goes into her blue orb and kind of helps out with all that kind of stuff with her red whenever you do a 3 ping into that blue orb. Now talking about her leader trait, this is going to be lightning damage increases by 10%, attack of attacker constructs increases by 5%, and this one's going to be something that gives her a little bit of extra bonus damage to targets pierced by her red orb. Skill increases by 10% for 8 seconds, and then you can see some of this other stuff is locked. Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and talk about her memory set. There's a couple different things you can do with her. So highs in here is actually going to be attacks have a 25% chance to trigger a thunderstorm within a 3.5 meter radius. Thunderstorm electrocutes the target for 5 seconds, 5-second cooldown. Attacking an electrocuted enemy has a 20% chance to trigger lightning chain damage, 8-second cooldown. Lightning chain, all electrocuted targets take 250% lightning damage. Thunderstorm 100% lightning damage. Electrocute lightning resistance is reduced by 8%. So that's quite a mouthful, but basically all you need to know is that it creates kind of this large kind of like thunderstorm, and anything that's kind of affected by it takes more damage and does a certain percentage damage over time while that entire thing's happening. And then everything has a various kind of cooldown, as you can see, 8-second cooldown, 5-second cooldown, depending on the thunderstorm or them being electrocuted in general. They have a lower resistance and stuff like that. So it is really going to help out with your S Bianca because she is primary lightning. So let's go ahead and dive into the last two here. So there's a couple different things you can use. A lot of people in my event guide kind of wanted to tell me that Frederick was the best. I understand that she is probably way better than Condalina when it comes to a lot of different things. Now, the reason that I talked about Condalina in the actual event was because her 2 ping is actually going to be a basic attack damage increases by 15%. Yes, this is more passive. Yes, it is like more of a kind of lazy way to play the game, essentially. The reason that I said it in the event guide is because whenever I looked up on Wiki, when I talked to people on Discord, and when I just looked at other information on different videos, they said that the more general public will probably want to play with this one because it is a little bit more passive. A lot of people are playing the game to just kind of jump on here and they're having a lot of fun, and they just don't want to have to worry about having to dodge every 5 seconds or learning the dodge mechanics and being like really, really good at it. Even though Frederick is really, really good, each dodge increases movement speed by 15% and extra damage bonus by 5% for 5 seconds. Can be stacked up to 3 times. Duration resets every time it's triggered, which is very, very good. It's a good, very good 2-piece set. You're going to have to play a little bit more actively with this one. You're going to have to make sure you're dodging. You're going to have to make sure that you're paying attention to a lot of different things, which a lot of you guys like to do. A lot of people in the comments, you know, we're talking about Frederick being a really good one. And the reason that I left it for this kind of specific thing is because you can play either or. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where if you want to play a little bit more passive, you can definitely play Condalina. A lot of people actually build Frederick and Condalina because some days they want to play like hardcore, they want to play with Frederick, and some days they want to play with Condalina and they just kind of want to play laid back and have that a little extra damage. Now, the reason I said it as more of a base guide in my general event video is because it's more like of a general thing. A lot of people who are beginner players or people who just don't really want to spend the time dodging every single thing are going to want to go with Condalina, and anybody else who wants to play a little bit more hardcore, maybe you're playing Warzone or maybe you're just trying to get Tower of Babel stuff, Frederick is definitely going to be the way to go. But I wanted to kind of showcase it in this video because this is specifically about S Bianca and talking about some of the different things you can do with her. So that's just all I have to really say about it. You pretty much just want to play with the other two. You want to have Heisen here in the 1, 2, and 3 slots. Heisen can be in any of these slots here, 4, 5, and 6. Doesn't really matter if you have a Frederick in 5 or Condalina in 5 or whatever, just build around it. I just want to make sure that 1, 2, and 3 is kind of supported by the Henson here because that is kind of like the main place for her. She has boosted stats essentially if you're looking for it. So talking about all of that, let's go ahead and talk about her bow here. I have 2 bows here. I have her 5-star and then I have the 6-star. So her 6-star for S Bianca, I'm going to be talking about that in kind of a different video, talking about the showcase between the 2 bows. But I wanted to say that I honestly think that it's rather worth it for her because it does quite a bit of stuff. Lightning damage increases by 15% when dealing lightning damage caused by skills to the same target 5 times. Calls down a lightning strike that deals 150% lightning damage and 2-second cooldowns. This is one of the ones where I really feel like rolling for it may be worth it because the lightning damage for her is just going to be keeping like stacking and stacking, especially if you have the memories for her, you have like the passives and all that kind of stuff for her, and then you have her her 6-star bow. It's really going to start helping out quite a bit. Whereas her 5 is just crit rate, and crit rate damage increases by 10% if there are no enemies within 2 meters. So you can see that it's a little bit of a downgrade here. But, you know, in all honesty, if that's all you can do to get by right now, maybe you have a 5-star and you don't have the BC essentially to go for the 6-star, I would just wait for it because weapons can stay forever on the banners. Okay, so real quickly, just talking about kind of her team for right now, because Achrome does come out a little bit later and he'll be kind of your tank and kind of pseudo DPS essentially that you can swap off when you're playing S Bianca. So right now it's going to be S Bianca up in front. Then it's going to be Liv Lux here. That's going to be kind of your healer. She is lightning, as you can see. She does have 80% lightning, 20% physical. Now this one's going to be a little bit different depending on who you have and who you kind of want to play with. A lot of people were saying that somebody like Dawn is really good since she is lightning. She is going to be another DPS though, so I don't necessarily know how much you want to use that because normally you'd want to use a DPS, a tank, and a healer. And then I've seen a lot of people talking about how even A Cam is going to be really good, or even S Cam wherever he's at. I don't think I have him on this account. Or even S Cam, even though they don't have lightning per se, they are really good tanks in fluidly, and they just kind of help out quite a bit when it comes to the overall team aspect. And that is just going to be kind of the bread and butter. So essentially, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am going to be going through more detail about, you know, the Tower of Babel and stuff with her, and kind of going through Warzone and Pancake. If you were kind of looking to see that, make sure to sub to the channel, and we'll be covering her a little bit more exclusively on the gameplay side and kind of showcasing what she can do once I get some of the resources to kind of show you guys. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.